The problem with most people is that they don't know the problem. You saunter through life hoping things will change magically by some alchemy. You're smart enough to realize that nothing changes if nothing changes. According to the law of mechanics, a principle I have stated incessantly, an object would always remain static until an external force higher compels it to act otherwise. So your destiny can be like that object until a decision is made higher than the pain of change. Nothing will change. But you notice something remarkable when you make a decision to change. Observe any little thing in that moment is enough to distract you. All of a sudden, the two shirts in the basket is due for laundry. Your house needs cleaning. You take up the responsibility of the gardener. Every single person needs to go to the grocery store. Your phone is ringing. You need to pull up for that body. And after hours engaging in mindless activity, the day gives way for the night. I'll do it tomorrow. And one day turns into two, two into three into a week to a month to a year, and years into decades. So decades of accomplishing zero to nothing or next to nothing. And you wonder why you have all of these big dreams, all of these visions, and you falsely believe you're taking actions. But in reality, if you observe your daily pattern, your daily actions towards that said goal, you would quickly come to the conclusion you're doing next to nothing. But it's a very important principle because we as humans bask in the familiar. It is comfortable to be in the familiar than to thread the unknown. That's why the lady would rather be in an abusive relationship than leave. This is not only a resultant effect of the scarcity mindset. Where would I find another partner? No. Ladies fundamentally understand that with aids like Instagram and other social media platforms, it's never been easier for matchmaking. So that part has already been sorted out. Originally, the problem is most likely from familiarity. And please understand, if you're going from zero to hero, this principle applies to you. You get to a point where it's time for you to become independent, but taking those necessary consecrations that materializes those thoughts becomes difficult. You enjoy the familiar pattern of worrying about money, lacking about money, the ambience and the consequence that comes with that mindset, you being in a position where you now have money, where all of these things are no longer a worry, is foreign. Now, as sentimental as this might sound, no, I hate poverty. But when shit comes to shove, when it's time for you to take that action, when it's time for you to start that business, observe, you procrastinate heavily. You procrastinate. Why is this the case? You enjoy the familiar. This has nothing, understand, this has nothing to do with discipline or motivation or willpower. This is your subconscious mind creating activities deliberately to sabotage your success. All of these principles I knew at age 18. No, maybe 19. Some of you are a bit older, 25, 30, and you would agree with me, yeah? Yeah, completely, you're right. It didn't even fucking cross your mind because you're too busy jerking off Pornhub. I can't stop myself from typing. What is wrong with you, peasants? That's why you are poor. Most of you don't think. When was the last time you researched money? When was the last time you understood what the Federal Reserve is? They are not a bank because you and I can't open an account with them. They are not federal because they aren't government owned. Yet, what gives them the authority to print endless amount of money? And over the years, they've evolved from creating credit only through cash. Now they can just print tons of digits, and that's why cash is growing extinct. I don't know whether extinct is the word, but it's becoming scarce and scarcer. Majority of you might find solace in these digital transactions, but what you don't understand is a deliberate and concerted effort by the banks to maximize the usage and increase profits. If you're with $100 cash, you cut your hair, it will go to the barber. The barber uses it to buy groceries. It goes to the grocer. The grocer then deposits it in the bank. It is money. But if you transfer $50 or $100 to your barber, the bank takes 2% maybe. The barber transfers to the grocer transfers to the bank transfers to someone else. And if that money moves on a long enough time frame, that $100 will be eroded completely. So majority of you do not think as to why they are trying to make things convenient for you. The arrogance of you peasants and humans to believe that somehow the government cares about you. They are trying to make it easier. My friend, drop that shit out of your mind. Who the fuck do you think you are to get presidential treatment? The government should care about you. So fuck up. That's why you'll be poor. So think about things deeply. Take actions that will produce the result you desire to see. As always, my friends, pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.